What's up, guys and gals, true believers, Marvel fans? So here is another little batch of Marvel Legends that I wanted to share and talk a little bit about with you guys. So if you're not familiar with this kind of format that I do, my previous one featured a few X-Men themed Marvel Legends, and it's not a review. Um, it's just it's a few figures that are kind of like in the same theme, not necessarily from the same series, just a similar theme, and in this case, it is MCU figures. Ones from the movies. Uh, if you collect these, you'll also know that these are mostly older ones. I want to say these were all from last year. I don't think any of them were from 2018. You got a couple from Endgame, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Captain Marvel. So anyway, let's just jump right into these. I'm gonna start with War Machine here. My recollection of the movie is not great, even though I've seen it a couple times. I mean, between like my bad memory, just my mind and thoughts being jumbled all the time because I've got a billion things on my mind all the time. Like my recollection of the movie is not great. Like I know I liked the movie. I might have loved it. I know I really enjoyed it, but it's one of those ones where it's like I'm not gonna say Endgame was up there with my favorite movies. I think I've seen it a couple times. Probably aside from the first time, I might have seen bits and pieces and not actually sat and watched it in its entirety more than once. Anyway, I don't really have much memory of seeing War Machine in action in the movie, but I do know ever since I saw the figure, like before he was released, I was like, "Yo, that is the War Machine I have." If you don't know, I'm only gonna want one version of a character in my collection. And that's gonna be my one kind of definitive version. And this here is it for War Machine as far as like the MCU stuff goes. He's so beefy. I don't recall him being this beefy in the movie. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But bottom line is the figure itself, so badass, really cool. One of those ones where kind of like what I said in the previous. I'll probably mention this every time I do one of these. Is that for $20, these figures are not amazing. Some people will say so. Oh, it's such an amazing figure. Everything, blah blah blah. I totally love it. No, they're good figures. They're mostly good. Some are less than good, but some actually do impress me. And this is one of those ones where it's just like just because of how cool it looks. I don't think there's anything super impressive, and still lacks accessories. I think it would have been nice, especially since it's MCU, to have an unhelmeted head. If nothing else, weapons wise, I think he's I guess he's sufficient with accessories because he's got these which are detachable, and of course this. Other than that, maybe a couple different hands, and an unhelmeted head. But otherwise, it's one of those ones where yeah, I'm not gonna be disappointed for paying $20 for that guy. Now rescue here, Pepper Potts. This one's a little disappointing. I mean, she looks good. Don't get me wrong. I have no issue with the way the figure actually turned out. I think she actually looks pretty great. For a $20 figure. Is still on the fence, kind of tempted with the SH Figure Arts one, but for the most part, I'm fine with this. You got the this that you can interchange, but so if I have any issue with this figure, it's the same thing. Lack of optional parts, and especially an unhelmeted head. We got that Pepper Potts figure in that one 3-pack, and I do have her. it doesn't work on here. I forget if like the neck is too long or too short, something like that. The head just does not work on this particular body, which is a real shame. You know, she still should have come with her own, unhelmeted Pepper Potts head for everyone else who wants this figure but doesn't have, or doesn't want to get the 3-pack for the Pepper Potts head, and then even worse, it doesn't work with it anyway. So I think she's a pretty good figure, great even maybe, but just again lacking in extra accessories, but still she looks good. See, and here's a perfect example. You've got the Wasp here. Helmeted head, unhelmeted head. Plus other accessories. You've got interchangeable hands. And, the backpack thing. So there's no reason we couldn't have gotten that with Rescue. So, yeah, minor rant, if you want to call it that. And the likeness looks beautiful. I think Evangeline Lilly is the actress's name. That is one of the things that I love about the MCU figures, especially the more recent ones, when they've really improved the face scan technology, whatever it actually is called. The figures, the likenesses look amazing. And that actually is also, I'm going to ramble a little here, why I'm partial to the MCU or movie based figures versus the comic figures. Even though for me the nostalgia would be in the comic figures, especially the '90s stuff. But I love the realism of the movie figures. The real life look. It's not necessarily how much I loved or liked or disliked any given movie or even the actor or actress. It's just that it's a real world take on the character, and especially the faces, more real life looking. Granted, most of them I am going to be a fan of the actors or actresses. I like some more than others, but again, aside from that fact, just the fact that they are a real life looking, head versus the comic ones that they look comic like and not real life. Which there will be exceptions, when you go into like the import stuff, or like 112 Collective, for example. 112 Collective, even though they're not directly based on the comics, they're more comic inspired, but the faces, even though they're not based on like an actor or actress or anything, the faces have a very real life look to them. So those would be things that I will prefer, even though they're not based on an actor or an actress, just because, again, for that reason, it's real life looking. So Captain Marvel here, the likeness, not perfect, but still really good. Still really good. And again, look, you got optional different heads, a couple hands. Now the only thing she's missing is some effects pieces. But other than that, still a really good figure. One of those ones where not super impressed, but no actual issues. I have a minor issue, but that's not like in the design. That's just my copy of the figure has some, I don't know if you can even see it, some kind of weird, kind of almost melted or paint rub. But yeah, I'm not gonna be too concerned with that. It doesn't bother me too much. So yeah, really cool though, and I actually did love the Captain Marvel movie. So there you guys have it. Another one of my little Marvel Legends Sharon talks. I don't know what to call it. More to come though. In an upcoming one, much like the X-Men, I have a few Spider-Man themed figures that have had aside waiting to do one of these. So I hope you guys are enjoying them, and I hope you guys are well. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching.